Good morning and welcome to the Morning Scoop for Tuesday, February 8th. This is your daily Buckeye Fix. I'm Tom Moore. The Notre Dame game is in 207 days, the game against Michigan in 291 days. This is supposed to be the slow time of year, but between Ohio State's coaching changes, the crazy few weeks at Michigan, the Senior Bowl, and just enough news to occupy a show or two around National Signing Day, there's been a lot to talk about over the last couple of weeks. Today's a day where we're going to kind of catch up on a show I was planning to run over the weekend. You're going to be hearing directly from some of the newest Buckeyes. These are shows that we consistently get feedback on, good feedback, because as a number of you guys have said, it's good to actually hear from some of these guys who are basically just a recruiting profile and maybe a photo or two in most people's minds right now. So this is a chance to add a little depth. I'm going to let you know up front that these were from group interview sessions on the indoor practice field. So you're going to hear some background noise and reporters asking questions to get additional details. The audio will not be perfect, but the stories are kind of interesting, so wanted to share those with you. So we're going to start with linebacker Gabe Powers. There was some discussion about whether Powers might move to defensive end at some point in his Ohio State career, but he's coming to Ohio State at 215 pounds, and the plan for him this fall is to have him at will linebacker. So he is planning to put on about 10 to 15 pounds maybe before spring ball. Powers was asked, who is his favorite linebacker to watch? He actually had a pretty good answer.
So I always, he's retired now, but I always watch Ray Lewis. That's one of the biggest, the best linebacker, one of the best linebackers to ever do it. So I loved his mentality. So I always watched him.
What stood out about him? Was it the fact
his mentality and his hits? I love his hits. He always, like you said, that explode through. He definitely had it. So.
And he also rarely let you know he was hurt or banged up and stuff. He played like on another level in that regard. Where does that come from?
That toughness?
Toughness may not even be. It's almost like theatrics a little bit that you're going to put on this show. No matter what, that you are the baddest guy on the field. You know what I mean?
And that's how I've been raised. That's how no matter what's going on. I played through even a ton of injuries this past season, senior season. But I knew that I was raised that way to first never let my team down. I'm going to play till you're going to have to carry me off the field. So.
Cornerback Jyaire Brown is next. He has an interesting backstory. He's listed with a hometown of New Orleans, Louisiana on the official Ohio State roster, which technically makes him the first scholarship Buckeye from the Pelican State since defensive tackle Nader Abdallah in 2008. However, the high school he played at as a senior, and the one which he's listed out on the official roster, is Lakota West High School in Cincinnati, which is rather famously in Ohio and not Louisiana. So here's Brown explaining his story and then answering a few follow-ups about his time in Louisiana.
So I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. I lived there till I was 3 years old. Then I moved to New Orleans. I've been living in New Orleans ever since about 2 years ago, year and a half. I moved back to Cincinnati, Ohio, to Lakota West. And I've been here ever since.
Okay.
And we're listing New Orleans as hometown.
New Orleans is hometown. Yeah. Okay. So, like when you're growing up in New Orleans, then were you a big Saints fan? Were you a big LSU fan? Like, what was your team?
To this day, I'm a Saints fan. I was a big LSU fan, but I wouldn't say a big LSU fan, but I was definitely a fan of LSU, just knowing that they right up the street.
Brown is not the only one in the cornerbacks room trying to make an adjustment to being at Ohio State. His position coach, Tim Walton, is as well. Walton, of course, played at Ohio State back in the early 90s, but coaching in Columbus is all new to him. So here's what Brown had to say about his first impressions about now Ohio State coach Tim Walton. And then you'll hear a couple of follow-up questions about his impressions of new defensive coordinator Jim Knowles and some of the veteran players who have helped him out so far.
He coached Jalen Ramsey. That's one of the best. That's the best corner in the league, in my personal opinion. And knowing that he coached him, I'm definitely going to learn from what he's saying and the things that he's going to teach me so I can be able to and be ready when that time comes for me to step foot in the league.
How about Jim Knowles? What kind of your interactions been like with him so far, and what are your first impressions of him?
He's a great man, great coach. He did great things at Oklahoma State. And same for him, just looking forward to work, man, getting ready.
You would be, older cornerbacks here, really helped show you the ropes so far?
Yes, sir. J.K. Johnson, that's my roommate. Me and him real tight. We compete with each other every day when we're working out. And I feel like he's going to be my biggest, just competitor at a standpoint. Me and him compete.
Next up is quarterback Devin Brown. Tony Gerderman and I talked a bit about his backstory last week on a Thursday episode. He was asked about getting to campus and immediately being in a quarterback room with a Heisman finalist in CJ Stroud and a 5-star passer a year ahead of him in Kyle McCord. Has that been intimidating?
Oh, he's a great guy. Both of them are great guys. I've been throwing out with Kyle. We threw last night. We've been throwing like 3 times a week. It's been really good. But I met with CJ like twice, really. It's hard. He's in and out of workouts, and we're at different times. I've only worked out with him once, but just really good dudes. I mean, they just want the best for everybody. It's nobody's like too cool or anything like that. Everybody just wants the best for everyone. It's a really cool environment.
At this point in college football, many quarterbacks show up on campus wanting to compete for the starting job their first season. And no disrespect to Devin Brown, but it is going to be pretty tough to unseat a guy who just nuked the school's passing record book in the Rose Bowl, like CJ Stroud just did. So what is it like to show up and know you're probably going to be spending a year watching and learning before you get a chance to actually compete for that starting job? Now, Brown was asked a similar question a couple of times, and you're going to hear those answers back to back, because he talked about some different things in both of them. Wanted to include both of them here.
You know, even seeing this year, Kyle got in some games this year. You're really one snap away from getting in. So depending where I'm at in spring ball and everything, I could be one play away from being in the game. So I still got to attack with that mentality if I could still be playing right away. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to want to be playing, but you just got to know. I mean, coaches have a plan for you, and they know what's best for the team. You want what's best for the team. At the end of the day, if you're not getting things done, you're not going to be playing, and you want what's best for the team. You want to go win a national championship. So, I mean, you just have to put your time in and just keep your head down, just keep working. Like, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal if you're not playing right away. You're going to get your time.
Another position where you may have to wait your turn to see the field is at wide receiver. Kyion Grayes is a guy who comes in with a ton of buzz, but Jackson Smith-Njigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., Julian Fleming, and Emeka Egbuka all did as well, and they've all been part of the team for a year or more already, and as you may have seen on January 1st, Smith-Njigba and Harrison put on an absolute show in the Rose Bowl. So what was it like for someone like Grayes to watch that game and then know you're going to be playing with these guys in a matter of months, a matter of a month? So you'll hear that, and then you hear a question about what he can learn from some of those guys.
Man, that's like a receiver's dream. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, could have been 4, could have been 400 yards. I mean, that's anything a receiver can ask for. So,
what were your impressions of Marvin's performance? Because it was his first start with guys like Chris and Garrett out, and just him being a true freshman.
I already knew Marvin was going to do his thing. Marvin is a freaking nature. So, I mean, I already knew he was going to go out there and do what he had to do.
Jackson came in pretty polished when it came to running routes. You seem to be a little bit on that same trajectory. What can you take from him, the way he's, risen through just 2 years to get to, for you to get to that point, not just 2 years, but maybe this year?
The one thing I can do is just learn from him. I mean, we come out here, we catch often with CJ and all them. So, I mean, learning from him, Mech, Marv, all these different people. The one thing I can do is take from them and just learn as much as I can.
The last guy I wanted to let you hear from today is cornerback Ryan Turner. Now, he is a Florida guy, and as we've learned over the years, Florida guys don't generally lack for confidence. So Turner is no exception. He was asked about when he knew he might have the ability to play college ball. So you'll hear his answer on that. And then you're going to hear several follow-ups from Doug Lesmerises of Cleveland.com about when Ryan Turner and how Ryan Turner became a cornerback.
I always felt like I was good at football, and I felt like I could go to school for free at the D1 level. So I felt like at an early age, I felt like I could go D1.
Okay. Were you defense early on? Or were
I played both.
You played both?
In Optimist football, I played both. And then my last year Optimist football, my dad, he switched me to corner because he knew, I don't know how he knew, but he had a feeling that my future was going to be. So
okay.
I stuck there.
Like, everybody wants to catch the ball, but if you have those skills, corner can be where the money's at, man.
Definitely.
There are other dads. I think there's some smart dads around here, man, who are like, hey, my kid's pretty good. I'm going to make him a corner.
Yeah.
Were you hesitant at all? Were you like, oh man, I love catching touchdowns?
Very. I mean, me being young, you want to catch touchdowns. You want to be the man. But it's like him changing me to corner. I was like, I don't know. And then he only had me playing just corner. He didn't want me playing offense and nothing like that. So it was like, I want to play offense too. I don't want to play just corner. But I was good at it. I've been working since I started playing corner in the 8th grade. So I've been working since the 8th grade and got me here. So I thank him a lot for that.
Okay. Does he remind you that I was right? See, Ryan, I knew it, right? Dad always knows
that
best,
a lot.
right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that show. As I said off the top, we generally get very, very good feedback on these shows. We get to hear from some of these guys. So Hope the kind of somewhat sketchy audio was worth it and you guys enjoyed that. We will be back with a normal show again tomorrow, but we will have plenty of shows all week long, all across our podcast network. If you are not subscribed to all of our other shows, you should make a point to do that. You can find them all by just searching Buckeye Scoop wherever you're listening to this show. We have the Buckeye Weekly podcast that Tony Gerderman and I do. We have the Big Meat Kickoff with Kevin Noon. We have Around the Oval with Alex Gleitman. We have Gives in the Bank with Mark Givler and Bill the Bank Green. So you can find all of those. Subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this show on. You can subscribe right there. We also would greatly appreciate a 5-star rating and review. Those help other folks find those shows. The more positive ratings we get, the more it kind of gets shown to other people. Higher we should pop up in those search rankings, and the more people find our show and potentially start listening. So that's a nice little thing you can do for us. And another thing you can do for us is subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Buckeye Scoop. All those podcasts are there. We have those there. We have interviews there. We have all sorts of camp highlights. We'll have all sorts of fun stuff from the road this fall. All that great stuff is all at youtube.com/Buckeye Scoop. Hit that bell if you're watching at YouTube. Subscribe to our channel so you get notified every time we do a new live show, every time we post a new interview, every time we post a new podcast. And the other thing you can do that really helps us out is you hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button every time you watch one of our videos. That will help, again, work that magic YouTube algorithm and help other folks find those shows so we can grow our audience. And that is a relatively easy thing you can do. Doesn't cost anything, just takes a second of your time and really does help us out. So we do appreciate that. So that'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.